Most High Christ bless. 1, 2, 3. Turn up my mic, please. Turn up the mic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High Christ bless you all. Happy Sabbath. And to those out there listening online, happy Sabbath. Today's class is entitled Betrayers and Secret Admirers. All right. You know, the class spawned off a class I was watching that Bishop Nathaniel did some time ago concerning people with the spirit of envy. A lot of times you have people that are envious because they are not capable of doing what you're doing. Loosely, I'm saying what he said, but that's the point. So it struck a thought in my mind concerning that topic. All right. You have people, right? You know something? There's people right with that spirit that walk around and they build a spirit of animosity and hatred because either you can do something, you have something, and because they're not able to do it or get it, they will hate you and even try to destroy you, that neither one of you can have it. For the life of me. Yeah, some people, boy, I tell you. So let's begin in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. 2:23. 23.
Wisdom of Solomon?
Yeah, yes, read for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, go.
Mike. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it.
Now, so watch this. It says, for God created man to be immortal. The whole purpose when God created us is for us to live forever, and made him in the image of his own eternity. And we're made expressly after his image. But look what it says next. Nevertheless, through the envy of the devil came death into the world. And they that do hold of his side do find it. They that hold of the side of the devil, with that spirit of envy, they're going to find death. What strikes me when I read that is that he says that he made us to be immortal after his express image. So if we're all made after the image of God, what is it to envy against each other? We're made after his express image. Each and every one of us has that dispensation, that spirit put upon us. Then how can you envy each other? We're made after the image of the greatest entity, the creator of all things. Nevertheless, there goes that niggard mind. Watch this. Go to Genesis. We're going to come back here. Genesis 3. So something had to happen to be made after his image, and then you allow envy to step in. Start with Genesis 3. I want verse 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Watch this. The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. This is an allegory. I'm not going to go into all the allegory, but everything you read here is not at face value. There's a mystery behind it. The point I want out of it is that the serpent was subtle. To be subtle is to be cunning. So, if you want to deceive somebody, what is it saying? That you have to find the things that's cunning that will trigger that person to respond a certain way. You have to sometimes phrase a comment or ask a question because it's bait to try to lure you into BS. I'm telling you, if you've been around here for at least 3-4 years, you had to see that happen. For myself, when people ask me questions sometimes, I'm like, especially if it seems something off, like, why would you come and ask me that? You just passed like 10 other people, and I'm the one you want to ask that question to? And I sit back and go, okay, let me give him the benefit. Nah. Okay, watch this. It says, more subtle than any beast of the field. Read on.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Now, he's subtle, but look what he asks Eve, the woman. Did God say that you shouldn't eat of every tree of the garden? You don't think you already know the answer to that already? That was a subtlety. You bring it in with a bait question. Didn't they do that with Christ too, with Satan? He said, isn't God going to uphold you? I don't want to go to it, but you know what I mean. So sometimes a question is just a bait to see if you'll nibble on it. Look what she says. Read on.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it.
So she responded to him. Smart thing to do is not say nothing. You already know the answer. You know that we're not supposed to eat of it. It's like me saying to you, hey, you know, is it wrong that we eat pepperonis? Because I thought it was just only pork chops. Like, move. Move. It's wrong because she left her husband, but technically, no, move. Sometimes it's baited. But she began to answer him. Now let's read.
God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman.
So her answer was right. She said, God said, don't touch, don't eat of it, lest you die. This is talking about dealing with the other nations, another time, another class. Read on.
And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
Here comes the subtlety now. He put the bait out in the question. Then he says, now you ain't going to die. You're not going to die. Well, didn't God said you was going to die? So what did Eve have? She had that itching ear. There was something that he knew about her, that he can say certain trigger things to get her to betray God. So she took hold of it, and let's see what happens.
Verse 5. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
So now, Satan tells her, listen, God knows the day you eat of it, you're going to be as God. So what was her trigger there? She wanted to be equal or be a God. He saw something in her spirit that she was not content. So he triggered her there. That's like some of you brothers or sisters, anybody, you have trigger points. You're burning, you want a wife or a husband, and then Satan will send that person that seems ideally like what you like to bait you. A lot of times it's small. I've been saying this for the last 15 years. It's small pieces to a big puzzle that's baiting you into a certain thing. And a lot of times people are blinded and they're not seeing it. He says, surely you're not going to die. Surely it's not. Come on, it's not a big deal. Don't listen to that. Let's see, read.
Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food.
Okay. So now here's the thing. He said you ain't going to die. And she says, surely it's good for food. Okay, I don't want to go into this. See, I don't want to make this that class. Surely it's all right to deal with it. Well, isn't that what sin is? Don't sin feel good? Whoever sinners say, I don't like sinning. That's not how it works. Sin feel good. That's why you do it. Because it's something, whatever the sin may be, lust, let it be hatred, something that it activates something inside of you that you perceive that it's good. Damn. To betray God, to fulfill that lust, there's a price to pay. Read on.
Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So, yeah. I would tell you on earth, listen to me, brothers, clearly. On earth, there is nothing stronger than what's between a woman's leg. Pick something. The only thing to defeat that is wisdom, God's words. There's nothing humanly possible that can defeat that. Because a nigga will kill each other over that. They'll rob, steal, sell crack. They will sin against God who made them a God. You understand that? Zerubbabel said that. He said there's women and wisdom. You want to defeat that between the legs, you better use wisdom, because there's nothing. You need some spiritual to defeat that earthly demon. That stuff right there, that stuff dangerous, boy. And you ladies know that too, right? You know you have a man spend his last dollar. And you know what about it? What I think about that is because you can have a wife that you love and you home with, or supposedly love allegedly, and you go take your last dollar and go in a strip club and watch a woman take off her bra and pay her for that. When you got two of those at home that you can go look at. You used to, and go broke, just give your money away to watch a girl take off her clothes. That's insanity. That's madness. Man, I do it to my wife. I just pay it, and then after I just pick it up and push it back in my pocket. I'm gonna pay to see two. I'm gonna pay to see two breasts. There's two at home. I'm gonna pay some sweaty breasts. I ain't paying for that. Hell no. Maybe if you had three, I never seen three at once. But two, same two open. I'm not paying for that crap. Hell no. At least I pay my wife. I just pick it right back up. I'll pay. Just go give me a sandwich. So where we left off at?
Now we're
I don't want to. We're gonna come back to this again. Let's go to Galatians 5. Galatians 5. 5:19. You know what? Let me get a Bible because the Bible's all tore up. I can't read out that. Just don't read them.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
So the point I want out of that is there's a few of them, but one in particular, emulation. Many times betrayers, they betray because they have a spirit of emulation. It's a sad existence when you live your life looking at another person's life and designed to be them, secretly hating them because you want what they have, you want to be them, you want whatever you might be going through, and you try to emulate them for all the wrong reasons. It's one thing if you emulate because you want to covet the best gifts to be a better teacher, but if you're emulating because you want to sit here, feel free. Trust me, it's not what you think it is. You emulate, or you hate a sister because she got whatever, nice hair, or whatever she have, a nice ring, or whatever it might be, and you secretly hate her. That spirit of emulation has destroyed many of people. And it's a cunning demon because it's something that you hold inside of yourself. You're a secret admirer of somebody. And you plot and you scheme. The scripture says what? The last part of that? Of 21.
Bottom of verse 21. They which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
That was Eve. Eve wanted to be like Adam. She wanted to be a god. She wanted to emulate and be as the man and have dominion. That's not how God set you up to be, woman. And because of that, death was issued into the earth because of a spirit of emulation. Some people just not happy with being made after the image of God. God said, I made you after my image. Bingo, you hit lotto. But in that image, I have different people for different reasons. And you're not happy with the course you have that you're called into. That's not good enough for you. And then you go about it, you plot and scheme and find ways trying to be something that God did not make you to be. At least not at that point of your life, maybe. All right. Captain, if you want to join in, feel free. Numbers 16. We're going to do some, let's see how much of this we can get through. Numbers 16 and 1. I want Kohath and Dathan and Co.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord? And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him.
Stop right there. So guess what? Here's Moses dealing with this. Verse 2.
Verse 2. And they rose up before Moses.
This was Kohath, the son of Izhar, the son of Levi. This is nearest to kin to Moses. His near kin rose up against him. And guess what? Read on.
With certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown.
So he was able to gather together over 250 men that were princes. These wasn't regular men. These were men that were renowned, that had a name. All this to go up against Moses. Damn, here we go. Didn't the Lord just bring us out of Egypt? Didn't we escape? And we get in the wilderness now. I can't imagine what Moses was going through. And then next thing you picked up your head and you got 250 men that's joined with them. How the hell was you able to gather 250 men, renowned men, to come up against Moses? And why would you do that for? What was the purpose behind doing it? Watch this. Read on.
Verse 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is how. Romans 16 and 8. 16, 18. We're going to come right back here. This is how.
Romans chapter 16 and verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay, they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ. What such? Verse 17.
Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses.
That's the such. The ones that try to cause division and offenses. So I'm telling you, these are key indicating signs for you today. When you're in a body in this congregation and you see somebody trying to cause division, you should know, I don't care what you think is going to, what's come out that person's mouth is to cause division, whispering, murmuring, trying to pull people to them sides. Let me tell you, if you're doing something that's of God, you don't have to hide and say it. You can say it openly because what you're going to be speaking is the oracles of God. What I'm reading is out of the Bible. So what I'm saying is God's words. But when you have to whistle, I'm going to call you later. I'm going to text you later. Man, if you fall for that, man, you simple. You simple. And it'll be brothers who be renowned, that been around for a while, and you get caught. How did you get caught? Because there's something in you. Also, that person can see. Hey, years ago, I'm not going to say the camp, but I'm going to use this history that happened. At the Sabbath, there's a brother that told another brother, listen, I got to do it. Yo, after the Sabbath, you want to go to the strip club? Now, here's the thing that strikes me about that. What made you comfortable to use those words, strip club, to another brother? There had to have been something he seen in him or knew about him. I would be afraid to say, you want to go to strip club? Because my fear is like, what did you say to me? Yo, this dude just said, let's go to strip club. But there had to have been something that he saw for him to say it to, and it was 3 brothers. So they had a conversation at the Sabbath about going to a strip club. And I'm like, damn, what is it? Because I could tell you better never come to me. No strip club. Because I'm going to embarrass you. Exactly. Say it out loud.
That's that contingency talk. And that's mostly amongst brothers and sisters who hang out in cliques. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together? You get that contingency talk.
That clique stuff supersedes the love of God. Supersedes it. How would you feel? I'm trying to wrap my mind around the concept of me saying it or somebody saying something like that to me. And I'm like, word. Let's finish breaking bread and let's be out. Okay. All right, anyway, so what was that? Okay. This is how. Okay, here's the point. Mark divisions. So key indicating sign for you men and you women. Causing division, murmuring, and we go over this over and over again. Murmuring, gossiping. And if you find yourself in that in 2021, simple are you? You're a bird brain. If your conversation is, even if there's problems in the body, if your conversation is not one of bringing solutions to it, then you're part of the problem. Because even if there's a real problem, trust me, God is going to sort it out. That's his job. Your job is to gather the 12 tribes. That's what your job is to do. God is going to remove who he wants to remove. But if you got this little division thing or whatever going on, read on.
Verse 17. And offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. Verse 18.
And what?
And avoid them.
Which part of that we don't understand? Read on.
For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple.
These renowned men were simple. Man, here's my mind, how I would think. Okay, I'm in there building pyramids out of hand straw. And then some man came and said, God told him for us to leave. And then they opened up the middle of the ocean, and we walked through the other side, and he led us over there. And then they closed back on enemies, and now we're on the other side. Nigga, Dane, you going to tell me I'm going to be listening to you. Reopen the open ocean. Let's show me you do that. How you going to convince me? Show me what you tell me what you work, because you ain't gonna pull me on game, just talk. You ain't gonna talk a good one to me. Like Christ. Christ came back from the dead. What you gotta say now? He said, I'm the way. Well, the man came back from the dead, beat that one. So in my mind, I'm like, how does that work? You know them by their fruits. A lot of times these people, these Bereas and whatever, they have little or no fruit in this body. They ain't doing much but just talking. And here come you, simple, and fall for it. Y'all don't know game? Where we at?
Verse 19.
Read on.
For your obedience is come abroad unto all men.
I don't need no more. Let's go back to Numbers. Verse 5. Verse 3.
Numbers 16, verse 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy.
Stop. So, and they, who's the they? the 250 renowned men with Kohath and Dathan, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy. Here's how my mind works. These 250 men thought they had a bright idea. Why would they say that? You're taking too much, seeing that we're all holy. What would make them feel confident enough to say that? Because they said something true. They said, we are all holy. In other words, sometimes what's going to happen, people will use the Bible to try to deceive you. They will use scriptures. But if you're keeping the commandments and you studied, you have a discerning spirit like, yeah, the Bible does say that, but not in that context. Yes, the Bible does say that, but it also says this. That's why it says, study to show thyself approved, rightly dividing the word. You can hear, but you know, some precepts just don't go. Even if you think it went, you're like, but it would contradict all these other precepts, so it must mean my understanding is right. There's something I'm missing, because that means it just nullified all these other scriptures. And we know the Bible does not contradict itself. So them saying, yeah, Moses, you take too much on yourself, seeing we're all holy. Where would you think they got that from? Exodus 19. Remember when they came out of Egypt, this is what God told them. And this is why they felt like that. 19:6.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
So he told them, listen, you're going to be a kingdom of priests. It's going to be, all of you going to be, it's going to be, but still, there's still a hierarchy in it. So when they said to Moses, they're like, yeah, Moses, we priests too. You ain't the only one. And you see all them 250? They all like, word, that makes sense. Right, word. God did say that. God did say that. Yeah, we're going to tell Moses. Meanwhile, guess what? The ringleaders, Dathan and Korah, got you. And there be many men and women around here that would do the same thing. Betrayers. Go back. Numbers 16.
Numbers 16 and verse 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord? And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face.
Moses heard that. He just fell upon his face. He said, damn, that's what you think of me? Again, you complaining men? That's what you're saying? They try to act or put the analogy that Moses was trying to act like he was better than anybody else. Here comes the smear campaign, trying to destroy him, destroy his name. You ain't better than all of us. Never said I was. Did he say, I wish you all was priest. I wish you all would take this job too. You know what those men could not do? Romans 12. Come right back here. This is what these men struggle with. Romans 12 and 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 4. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office.
They don't understand that. Read on.
So we, being many, are one body in Christ, and everyone members one of another.
And we're all members one of another. Read on.
Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith.
It says, if it's prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of the faith. Meaning what? Whatever God has inspired you with, run with that. Remember, you're made after his image, so it's all good anyway. But he's not going to give you, me, any of us, all of it. Then you would be God. He said, no, but I'm going to make you all work together. And each one of you have a piece. These men try to outshine Moses. That's not what you was called for. But God said, you are going to be a nation of priests. Read on.
Verse 7, or ministry. Let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching.
Some people cannot wait on their ministry. Some people are speeding. For whatever reason, God sets people in this body where he wants them at. Now, either you can roll with it and glorify God and be grateful, or you could buck against it and find yourself out there in the wilderness doing your own thing. I'm going to give you a heads up. Choose the first one. Second one, it don't really work. But if you think so, then go ahead and try it. Let's see how it works out for you. You'll be the first. Read on.
Verse 8, or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. He that ruleth with diligence, he that showeth mercy with cheerfulness.
Let's go back. So wait on your ministry. Back to Numbers.
Numbers chapter 16 and verse 5. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. This do, take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi.
He said, you sons of Levi, you take too much upon you. Now remember, Korah is a son of Kohath. You're from the family of the high priest. Damn, you just can't wait on your ministry? You know, Moses is your uncle, is your nearest of kin. He said, man, in other words, you niggas take too much upon yourself. You guys don't know. So we're going to figure it out. Let's go.
Verse 8, and Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel.
He said, damn, you look at it like a small thing, that God has separated you from the congregation of Israel. Do you know that you are the priest, the mouthpiece to God? You know, that's not enough for you? That ain't enough? You want more? He said, you make it like it's a small thing. All of us are born and made after the image, created after the image of God. Whatever part you have in that, be content. But some people are not, and they become betrayers. They will betray and try to tear apart everything because they're not the man or the woman or whatever they think they are. God is going to kill you. You don't.
To bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek ye the priesthood also?
Damn.
For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron, that ye murmur against him?
He said, listen, do you understand that you ain't really coming against me? You coming against God. The Lord set this up. And he says, damn, even against Aaron? Aaron is nearest of kin to you. And you come up against him, the ones who God chose? Hey, guess what? What he's telling them. You already found the machine moving already. God chose me for whatever reason, Moses is saying, and chose Aaron for whatever reasons he's saying. And through us, it's where we're at. And then y'all want to come up, you fight against God? Ain't none of you was here when it happened. That's how it happened. That's how God chose it. Moses said, I'm the one who went before Pharaoh. I'm the one who God chose Aaron's the one that had the staff in his hand that budded. It wasn't you, Korah or Dathan, none of you guys. And now you want to come up? He said, you're fighting against God. Hope this resonates in people's spirit, because those men were betrayers. Those men were evil as hell, boy. Read on.
Verse 12. And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us?
He said, we're not coming up because you're going to try to kill us off. He says, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land of milk and honey? Out of the land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us? No. God was bringing down quail. When you read on, I don't know if I'm going to read the whole chapter. What time is it? Let me see if I have enough time. I would try. He says, he brought down quail. They took water out of a rock. God gave them whatever they want, fed them with manners. And he said, you came to kill us in this wilderness? He said, do you just see the ocean open up? You complaining, looking for problems. And because it's not moving in the direction you want to move, you all conspire. Read on.
Verse 14. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the doors of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation?
You see? So wait a second. 250 men took their censers to burn incense to God. They thought, surely we got it. You got your censer? You got your censer? You need a light? You need a light? Yeah, let's light. We're going to show that God is with us. See, freaking guys. Hold this real. Go to Amos 5. Yeah. You need a light? Okay, light yours. I'm going to light mine after yours. Pass it down. God's with us. We're going to show Moses. We're going to show Moses that God is with us too. Who the hell he think he is? Think he's a big shot? 21. 5:21. Of Amos chapter 5, verse 21.
Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
God said, I ain't smelling nothing. I don't care about y'all. I'm about to kill you. They thought they had a plug with God. They thought they was going to make how my mind works. I'm still on the same thing with the 250 census. And like, yeah, everybody got the lit. It's lit. You sure it's lit? Yeah, you got yours right there. And Moses sitting there looking at them. God, don't hear them. Moses got direct connect with God. I'm sorry, Moses got direct connect with God. God, you know I didn't deal with them unjustly. Don't hear them. God said, you good, don't worry. Go ahead, burn it. Let's see what happens. So I will not smell it. I'm not smelling that stuff. You're not pleasing me. So you have betrayers that will betray the men set up over them and then think they're going to have a connect with God. It don't work like that, buddy. That's not how it works. And in their mind, they really thought that they was going to burn incense and God was going to smell it and show them favor. You sneaky, slimy little bastard. Good for your black behind. Go back.
Numbers 16, verse 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins.
There's your warning. I'm telling you, you better get away from these dudes. It's not going to work out. We just read that. Avoid them. We just read them. Them that cause division, avoid them. That's what Scripture says. Read on.
Verse 27. So they gat up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of mine own mind. If these men die, the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up, with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, Lest the earth swallow us up also.
Read on.
And there came out a fire from the Lord, and consumed the 250 men that offered incense.
So he said, listen, leave. Get away from these men. And those men came out their tents with their wives. Their wives should have bounced. You know, babe, you're on your own on this one. Kids, let's go. Leave dad over there. But no, their wife stood there in their folly. Like many women follow their husbands into the abyss. Many women just follow along, take their kids and right along. Said, okay, we're going to see. There's a new thing on the earth. God, open a pit for them. You forgot you was dealing with God's anointed. And it said after that, those are 250, God said, I'm going to kill them differently. We'll kill them with fire. So the end result of this story right here is what? Or this history is do not be a betrayer. Don't follow wicked men into foolishness. If it's to bring division, hey, buddy, what was the point of bringing division? Well, don't say right there where he says, I wish they all were prophets. It's someplace around here. Numbers 11. Anybody remember what it's at? Somebody help me. So I wish they were all prophets. That's what it is? 11 and what? Yeah, watch this. 11:29.
Numbers 11, verse 29. And Moses said unto him, Enviest thou for my sake? Would God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them?
So we're going to come, this is good to read too, but it's another time. Later on in the class, I'll come back to it. But Moses wasn't like jockeying like he was the only one. He said, I wish they all were prophets. Because those men were trying to stop them from prophesying. He said, don't envy for my sake. He said, please. He said, I wish they all were prophets. So Moses wasn't trying to keep it to himself. It's just what God chose. But these men conspired, evil conspiracy, betrayers, and found themselves dead. Watch this real quick. Let's go to the book of Song of Solomon, chapter 8. Song of Solomon 8, verse 1. Watch this. And we're going to jump on down to 6.
Song of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 1. O that thou wert as my brother, that sucked the breasts of my mother. When I should find thee without, I would kiss thee. Yea, I should not be despised.
He says, oh, that thou were as, this is an allegory, but it says, oh, that thou were as my brother that sucked the breast of my mother. He's saying, that's how close you were to me. That we both fed off our mother's breast. When I would find thee without, I would kiss thee. When you lacked, I was always there for you. It says, yea, I should not be despised. There's no reason why you should despise me. Because we're supposed to be this close. Now watch this. I don't want to read the whole thing. Jump on down to verse 6.
Verse 6. Set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm.
That's wisdom he's talking about. That's what the whole thing's about. Read on.
For love is strong as death.
It says, love is as strong as death. Read on.
Jealousy is cruel as the grave.
He says, and jealousy is as cruel as the grave. He said, as close as we're supposed to be, how is there a spirit of jealousy that rises up on you? So when he says jealousy is as cruel as the grave, think of the grave and then give me the understanding of what he's trying to say concerning jealousy. Anybody? Men? In the back, brother in the black shirt, corner.
Shalom, sir. Most High Christ bless. Death is unexpectedly, and that's what he's talking about.
Okay, jealousy, I like that one. Jealousy is cruel as the grave. How is the grave cruel? Explain that to me.
The grave is cruel because the grave is cruel because it holds you. It don't let you go.
There you go. There we go. And so that's how jealousy is. Jealousy holds some people so bad they can't fight. It has them captured. You know, that's a sad life to all you out there that got that spirit, that walk around with the spirit of jealousy, secret inside them, that have hatred. Man, I pity you. What a life. That's a loser's life. You hate, and you're so jealous because you want and you want to be. Man, I'm telling you, what kind of life is that? Damn. Especially a man. Not that a woman should do it either, but you men, it's like that. Damn, you super duper effeminate. You must be sitting down. Damn weak. I can't imagine me living my life looking at other and jealous of you for saying, oh, you're just mad, and you go to sleep, you wake up thinking about him, you wake up and I watch camps for decades just talk about Bishop, sleep and wake up, talk. I'm like, read that verse again. I pity y'all.
Verse 6. Set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm. For love is strong as death. Jealousy is cruel as the grave. The coals thereof are coals of fire, which hath a most vehement flame.
It says the coals are as a coal of fire. You know coal when it burn long and hot. Just keep on going. That's that jealousy that's in that spirit, that it just slowly begins to suck all the righteousness out of your spirit, because you was made after his image. But because of envy, it took whatever thing that was good in you, it sucked it out of you and left you lacking. Damn. Oh, watch this real quick. Go from that to Genesis 4. That's a sad existence of a life. That is a sad existence of a life. Genesis 4, we always read this, Cain and Abel. Watch this real quick, 4:1.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
So they both had two different offices, right? One tilled the ground, one tend to the sheep. Let me ask you, is one better than the other? Not the people, but tilling ground or sheep? Huh? Anybody? No. One tilled the ground, one tilled the sheep. Nobody's better than the other one. Read on.
Verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground in offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel, and to his offering.
Let me say this real quick. A lot of time when people suffer from jealousy, envy, betrayal, it's because they have underlying issues of sin in them. They're sinning somewhere in their spirit, unbeknownst to you. And then it provokes and activates these other spirits. So a lot of time people are doing things in their life that they're coming short of, not living to the full potential. And they know they're not living to the full potential of what they should do. So they begin to now direct their anger towards somebody else because they see that person is the person they wish they could be or they can do. But you could do it. You just got to do it. You just got to be righteous. But because they're not righteous, they're now angry with the righteous or come after them. Okay, so now back to Cain and Abel.
Verse 5.
3 and 4 again for me.
You said 3 and 4?
3 and 4, same.
And in process of time, it came to pass.
Stop. Don't pass. You see that process of time? That process of time was a time when Cain slowly began to build up a spirit of hatred towards his brother. Now, mind you, this is his blood brother. It didn't happen overnight. Sometimes you be around a brother 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, and they bug out. You're like, all that time, that process of time, they were becoming hardened and jealous and envious and covetous. So over a process of time, read on.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
He came to bring the fruit of the ground as an offering to God. Read on.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof.
He brought the firstling of the flock. He brought an offering to the Lord. Read on.
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
He had respect unto Abel and his offering. Read on.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect.
Okay, why didn't he have respect for Cain's offering? Cain brought an offering of fruit. Abel brought the firstling of his offerings of his animal. So why didn't he have respect to Cain, but he had respect to Abel? Let me help you understand, right? I'm going to give you the answer without giving you an answer. Cain was sinning. Okay, tell me why. Anybody? Nope. Okay, Mike Judah. The answer is right there in those two verses, 3 and 4. That's where the answer's at. Yeah.
Because during the process of time, he had grew envy in his heart.
Okay, past that, and then right after that. The answer's right there.
You said
just those two verses are where the answer is. Forget the process of time part. Okay, don't strike that part out of it. Mm-hmm. The answer is in the rest of those two verses.
All right. Because his sacrifices, because his offering was righteous?
Whose offering was righteous?
Abel's.
So why wasn't Cain's righteous?
Because he was battling sin.
Okay, what sin was he committing right there?
Envy.
Okay, you're missing it. The answer's right there. Who's going to try?
Hezekiah.
Okay, Hezekiah.
Hey, shalom, Bishop. Cain's offering wasn't the right offering. He was supposed to bring an animal.
No. We brought the first fruits of the ground too. No. Okay, let's go. Let me explain real quick. All right? Read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
Okay, he brought the fruit of the ground, right? Go to Proverbs 3. This is what he did wrong. He brought the offering, he brought the fruit of the ground, but he brought it wrong. Watch this. 3:9.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 9. Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase.
He did not bring the first fruits of his increase. He brought fruits, but not the first fruits. Abel brought the first fruits, or the firstling of his flock. He sinned against God, and he was mad at Abel because he didn't do right. Go from that to Numbers 18:17.
Book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 17. But the firstling of a cow, or the firstling of a sheep, or the firstling of a goat, thou shalt not redeem.
Right. You're not supposed to sell it because the goat, does it say right there?
They are holy.
They are holy. They go to the Lord. So guess what? He did not honor God with the first of his fruits of the ground. Feast of first fruits. He brought him whatever he wanted to bring him. But here's the thing. Okay, you didn't honor God. You're sitting, man, God gave you it. And he hooked you up and he gave you. That's why I don't understand when God blesses us with money or finance, whatever we have, and we don't give back. You know, you just re-up with God, and God keeps on giving. You keep on re-ing up with him, and you re-up, and he give you more. You re-up, and you keep the flow. No, you draw from the well, and then you don't put nothing back in it. That's not how it work with God. God ain't giving nothing for nothing. It ain't a freebie. I'm giving you so you can help build my thing. Take your little piece so you can do what you, but make sure the rest of you ain't doing that. Anyway, here's the point. I'm about to change the class. Let me get back. He's angry with Abel. Negro, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. That's your problem. So watch what it says. Read on. Let's go back to Genesis 4.
Genesis chapter 4.
Verse 5.
Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
Okay. He said to Cain, he says, and unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. Because I told you, you got to honor me with my first fruits. Let's make it simple. God gave you everything. He said, this is what I'm asking from you. The first fruits, you honor me with it. We good? Fine. And everything else you. You don't honor me with the first fruits. And now you want me to be happy? I'm not happy. So I'm not happy now. And now you're wroth with who? You can't be wroth with God because you can't get to him. So who you directed to? To that righteous man there now. Now you're angry with him. Yo, dude, I just gave my first things a flock. I did what I was supposed to do. Nigga, you on your own on this one. But watch it. So a lot of times people will direct or project their faults, and they'll now have to project the anger that they have because they didn't do right and project it on somebody else and make you like you bad. Moses, you think you better than us. Moses, why it's only you, Moses? Never said that. I wish you all were prophets. So read.
Verse 6.
Yep.
And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
If you give me the first things like I asked, or the first fruits, would I accept it?
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
And if you don't do well, sin lieth at the door. That door is not your front door. That's right here. Satan is in your head. And now he's governing you. But it's only because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Wisdom cannot dwell in a body subject to sin. Over a process of time, God had enough of him because he just wasn't doing right. And eventually what takes hold of him? Hatred, jealousy, envy. Man, have you all not experienced that? Have you all not seen that transpire? Read on.
Verse 7. And unto
No, I want you to read verse. Yeah, oh, that's right. That's correct.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
And guess what, Satan? He's now your disciple. And now he's going to have a plot. You know what? What's going to happen? Let's read. Watch this.
Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
So when it said he talked to his brother, you think he was talking reckless? No. He's talking peaceable. Hey, what's up? He was angry, but secretly angry. And when he had the opportunity, he fell upon him and killed him. He kept in that hatred in his spirit, smiled in his face, whatever it took. But when he had opportunity, said, he's alone, he said, I'm going to kill this man. I'm going to take his life because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Damn. Watch this. 2nd Ezra 16. Drop that. Hey, y'all can chime in. Feel free. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 49. These are for you sluts. Oh, I mean thoughts. I forgot, this is a new generation. Read.
2nd Ezra 16 and verse 49. Like as a whore. Read that again. Like as a whore.
Damn.
Envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman.
It says, like as a whore envieth a right and honest. A whore's hate to see a godly woman. Who that thinks she is? She thinks she better. No, she don't suck rod. Every man's rod. That's what you do. Were you mad because she don't suck rod like you? What are you mad at her for? The same way, I'm sorry, man, this was wrong. The same way, daggone, Cain was angry with Abel. Dude, you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Don't be mad at me because you ain't right. You know what? Watch. I read this online. I'm gonna read this to you about envy. It says, envy is an emotion which occurs when a person lacks another's superiority, quality, achievements, or possession, and either desires it or wishes that the others lacked it. You all know this misery love company. If any of you grew up, well, all of you should have grown up in your prospective cities, you always known a Negro that try to bring you down with them, especially if you was around dirty dudes growing up. They wanted you to do dirt just like them. They wanted your hand dirty. Hold the pistol. I'm not shooting. Why I got to hold the pistol? Just hold. They want you to be dirty. Hold this package for me. These girls, wear this tight outfit. Let's go out there tonight. Don't worry, girl. Nobody gonna know. We're on the other side of town. Go have sex. No, I don't want to have sex. Just go sleep with him. How many of you women had sisters try to bait you in the world to go sleep with some dude because they're about to play the whore for the night? A whore. How you said it? Do it again.
Like as a whore.
Damn.
And like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity when she decketh herself.
Right. So now, righteousness is supposed to hate iniquity. Like a whore hate an honest woman. And we know them whores hate honest women. They can't stand them. Same way we're not supposed to stand iniquity. Drop that real quick. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 2. Watch this. I want 1, then jump to 11.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Now watch this. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Those was the 250 princes with Moses. That was many people that you see, they get together, these ungodly, they're reasoning, and they think they're using the Bible, and they're using it all wrong. How do we know? Look at their fruits. 0. They come up lacking, shriveled up and dead. But they reason with themselves, and they think they're making sense. Jump on down to verse 11.
Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice.
Let our strength be the law of justice. We could dictate. We got the voice. We got the power. Read on.
For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
That which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. They can't do nothing. Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
Because the godly will esteem them as counterfeits. The godly know, nah, dude, you ain't right. And we know that. You're a counterfeit. All Israel's not Israel. They might have fringes on, but that don't mean they right. And you know what? The godly is going to be able to recognize them. And they're not going to get caught by your fair speeches. They're going to be like, no, you guys are not reasoning right. You're a counterfeit. That's my new word now. You're a counterfeit. I like that. He esteemed as counterfeits. Read on.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
He abstained from us and our ways as though they're filthy. Well, they're supposed to. Read on.
He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his father.
And he said the end of the just is going to be blessed. Many times people live for this present time. You could live this life and die. This ain't the end, buddy. It's not where it ends at. That's why those right there, they wasn't reasoning right. They said what in verse 1? Life is short, tedious, and in death of man there is no remedy, neither was there any man to have returned from the grave. So they said, yo, we're going to live life up right now. Man, you're not reasoning aright. Verse 16 again.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his father.
He's saying that I got to connect with God. God is our father. God is my father. Read on.
Verse 17, let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies.
Read on.
Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience.
They said, you know what, their bright idea is, we're going to try to kill him. He said, God is with him. Let's see if God help him up. God sometimes loved the death of his saints. He's still not reasoning aright. The Bible tells you that. Because you're still living in this present world thinking that judgment or life only exists right in present time. You don't know after this is the real, oh boy, after this is when it really gets popping. This is just play right now. This is not it. It's when you have to come back and answer to the Father. So they said, yeah, we're going to kill him and see if God is with him. Read on.
Verse 20, let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected.
Damn, to the point they so mad, the man didn't do nothing to them. He just don't want to deal with them. I'm not rolling with you. You're a counterfeit. You know what? We got to kill him now. Because you're living a life of error, you want to kill or destroy another man. Because yours ain't together. But it could be together. You know why? Read verse 23.
Verse 23, for God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
Because God made you to be in his image. So if you are moving like that, that's of your choice. You know what? I'm not moving like that. I'm going to destroy everything around me. I'm going to destroy it because I can't have, everything got to go. Because I don't want to be right. I'm telling you, evil will try to pull you into evil. If they can't pull you to evil, they will try to kill you or destroy your name or destroy you. Just jump back up. Verse 22, try verse 20.
Verse 20, let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected.
Read on.
Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them.
Because their own wickedness hath blinded them. Damn. Read on.
As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls.
They don't know there's a reward for blameless souls. They didn't discern. They can't discern it because Satan got them. They can't even see that no more. They're so far gone, like, they can't see it. Read on.
For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity.
And that's what God got back in return, you. He said, I made you to be immortal. I made you to be immortal. I made you to be immortal. You are the sons of God. And what do you turn into? A jealous, hateful demon. You're of no use to God. Read on.
Verse 24, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world.
Nevertheless, because of envy came death into the world.
And they that do hold of his side do find it.
You didn't find enough to be called the Son of God and made after his image. All you could think about is, we only got one life to live, so we're going to live it up, YOLO, and do what we got to do in this, because it's not tomorrow. And then, these dudes, I can't stand them because, over strength, we could have we want. And who are these guys think they think they're better than us? We're going to kill them.
so bad, that envy is so bad to where brothers will come here and make music videos standing outside of the school with the IUIC logo right there. That's that envy that's rottenness to the bone.
Simpletons. You know what? At the end, you shall know them by their fruits. Clowns. Watch this real quick. 1 John. Here they go right here. And, you know, you would expect that behavior. Well, none of you expect it, but, you know, you're a young guy. You know, you guys are, 19, 20 years old. Dude is only maybe a deck away from collecting ARP. And you out here doing rap videos. Man, you was a child. You was a child. I wouldn't even entertain you. Put you over my lap and spank you. Like, come on. Pull your pants down. Big kid. You damn near 40-something years old. you can't take them for real, man. Listen, give me a ticket. They're clowns. Put a big red nose on them. Watch this. Verse 15, 3:15, 1 John.
1 John 3:15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
Damn, you hate your brother so much that you want to murder them. You hate your brother. What happened? Did he say he made us in his image to be immortal? Look what verse 1 says of the same chapter. Stay right there.
Verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not.
It's a damn what manner of love did God bestow upon us that we should be called the sons of God. And out of all of that, you turn around and learn to hate your brother? That's what you come up with? That's the recipe to this stuff? Watch, let's read the chapter. Read on down.
Verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is.
That's good for me. We're going to be like the man that created everything, and we're going to be like him. I'm not fully clear, but I know there's power in that, because everything's here. Okay, cool. I'm with that. Read on.
And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure.
So what is that saying? That if you have this hope that you will be like him, that you're made in his express image, that you are the sons of God, then you're going to purify yourself. So if you don't purify and get that hate, envy, jealousy at your spirit, then you really never believed. So you was here under pretense all this time, lying in wait, festering and feeding on these demonic forces, and you've become a full-grown demon. God damn. That's something for your black backside. Read on.
Verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Read on.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. Whosoever sinneth hath not seen him, neither known him.
Read on.
Little children, let no man deceive you.
Watch this point right here. This is the point I want. Read on. Let no man deceive you.
He that doeth righteousness is righteous.
Don't get caught with the fair speeches. Don't get caught with the look, with the beard and it's gray and they speak. Don't get caught with that. He said, don't be deceived. Why? Because you can get deceived. All you got to do is he that doeth righteousness is righteous. So you looked in the Bible, it says this is righteous. You look up, he ain't doing that. Oh, God said he ain't righteous. There's no need for you to figure it out. His actions are going to bear fruit. He is. If he's marked them that cause division amongst you and avoid them. Here you go, 250 princes got caught up with it and got put to death. Men of renown. He just said, be not deceived. He what?
It says, little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
Read on.
He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning.
From the beginning, from the beginning, from the beginning, the devil sinneth. What did the devil do? It says back in Wisdom of Solomon, something, I forgot the chapter, but he says, envy of the devil came forth death, From the beginning, Satan's game was to divide us, put Eve against Adam, and then try to get Eve to get Adam to move away from the true living God, the one that made and gave everything. That is Satan's playground. So when I tell me, it's simple for me to understand. Trigger me with some foolishness to speak against a brother or whatever. Man, what you doing? You wouldn't waste your time coming to me. I look at you like you got 15 heads. Don't ever come to me and tell me about somebody, because I'm going to call that person. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to call, say, hey, look what he just said about you. And I'm going to sit back, I'm going to watch both of you. I'm waiting to see how you're going to respond. You know what he just said about you? He said this. Didn't you say that? So now you're either going to lie on me or you're going to repeat what you said. Let's figure this out. But you can't program me. I'm telling you, I'm not programmable except with this. That shit don't work. That stuff don't work with me. That stuff don't work with me. You wasting your time. I don't care how eloquent you speak, don't work. Read on.
Verse 8. For this purpose the Son of God
I lost my place. 3 and 8?
Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead.
For he that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin.
Christ was manifested to destroy the works of the devil. The works of the devil was to do what? Keep us in sin. Christ was manifest to give us the understanding of the laws and to gather together the 12 tribes of Israel. Satan's job is to teach you to sin and to keep the 12 tribes scattered apart. Seems simple to understand. So if you're not part of gathering the 12 tribes, you're a betrayer of your nation. You're a secret admirer sitting amongst us looking to destroy, and God is going to kill you. Read them.
Verse 9. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God.
Read on.
And this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God.
That's simple. That's it. Whoever do righteousness is of God. Whoever don't do it is not of God. Read on.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
Neither he that don't have love for his brother. You're not righteous. Who would want, I don't care what's going on, who would want to try to destroy their brother or their sister? Read on.
Verse 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
Look what it says next.
Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
He slew him because his own works was evil. That's why he slew him, because his works was evil. And because his works was evil, he hated because he was not like us. But you could have been like that. Because you was made after his express image. You chose to be evil, and now you want to kill that which is righteous, or destroy that which is righteous. Read on.
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you. We know that we have passed from death unto life, because we love the brethren. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
Watch this. Go from that to James 4. James 4, that's right. James 4, I want you to read 5.
James 4 and verse 5. Do you think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy?
You think it's in vain that God has that in the Bible? The spirit that in us lusteth to envy? There's something in us. You think that's by accident? It's there for a reason. You think God didn't have just had free time to say, I got to fill in this. I don't know what to put here. Just write something smart right there. It's there for a reason. He said the spirit of us lusteth to envy. Read on.
But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
He says, but he resist. Read it from the top, because I'm going to say it wrong. Read
Verse
it again.
6. But he giveth more grace.
But he gives us grace to do what? To get over that spirit of envy and hatred. He's given us space to fix it. This is what this class is for. I'm guaranteed this class is for somebody in here right now. I guarantee you. And it's for all of us, but you know what I'm trying to say. There's someone who's battling that right now. You think the scripture says in vain that the spirit in us lusted to envy? But he giveth grace. Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
He says, draw nigh to God. Call on God. He's going to give you a way to overcome the spirit of emulation, the spirit of envy, the spirit of jealousy, to take away that spirit of being a betrayer. Draw to God. He's going to help purify yourself. We just read that in 1 John. Go back to 1 John. 1 John 3 and 3, I think it is, where it says it.
1 John 3, verse 3. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure.
Now go back to James. Read that, verse 8, 4 and 8.
James 4 and 8. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
And you know what that double-minded man is? That's that man that sits in here, and he's bouncing back and forth in his mind. And that's a sister in here is bouncing back and forth. They'll put on the garment. They'll come here every Sabbath, and they secretly have hatred, but they can't help but they want to be here, but they talk about you, but they murmur, but they watch class, they take notes, they murmur. You're just all over the place. That's called madness. Jump to chapter 3, verse 14. Yep.
James 3, verse 14. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth.
But if you have bitter envy and strife, damn, he didn't say envy. He said if you have bitter envy. What is the definition of bitter? Somebody look it up for me real quick. Because it sounds like an extra kind of envy. Bitter envy. That sounds effeminate to me. Men that's bitter like that. Let me see. Resentful. Click on the word resentful. Similar. Go down.
At the bottom.
Right there. Resentful. Let me hear that.
Resentful. Feeling or expressing bitterness or indignation.
Hatred.
At having been treated unfairly.
Read on.
He was angry and resentful of their intrusion.
Now watch what it says. Feeling or expressing bitterness or indignation at having been treated unfairly. They feel like they're not getting a fair shake. They feel like they was dealt with wrong. They feel that's all your emotions. It's your mind corrupted. And you build up a bitterness in you. If there's a resentfulness because you envy so much, why does he have her? I should have her. She should be my wife. I'll be a better man for her. I'm telling you, why does he have that job? Why does he have that house? Why do they have this? Why is he the elder? Why? If you have bitter envy and strife in your heart, James 3:14, yeah.
James 3:14. But if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not, and lie not against the truth.
Read on.
This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish.
It's devilish. It will convince you. It's sensual. It feels good. It'll make you justify your actions. But the base behind it, it's envy. Watch this. Go from that to the book of 1 Samuel. Watch this real quick. Let me show you some envy real quick in these scriptures. Okay, I'm going to try to... 8, this is going to be, I don't know, I'm going to butcher this real quick. 8:16, 2 Samuel 8, 1 Samuel 8:16. I'm sorry, 1 Samuel 18. Sorry, I apologize. Verse 6.
1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 6. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, that the woman came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing to meet King Saul, with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the woman answered one another, as they played, and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him.
Stop. The Most High just gave us a victory over Philistines, over enemies that would have put all of us in captivity. Saul, David, everybody else, your children, your mama. And the woman said, David killed his 10,000s and Saul killed his thousands. I said it backwards, but you know what I mean, right? And that saying displeased him. Just a saying. Now you are the king. You're ruling. Hell you upset for? Envy, jealousy. Now let me say this real quick. Who was David to Saul? Anybody know? Just blur it out. No, don't say that. Don't ask that question. Who was David to Saul? Try it again. You guys want me to jump off this podium right now?
Officer Hezekiah, please.
Get it wrong, because don't make. I need you to get it wrong, Hezekiah. Give me.
David was King Saul's armor bearer.
Yeah, that was his armor bearer. Come on, man.
You all right, Bishop?
No. What am I doing wrong? Am I not teaching these scriptures correctly? I'm just messing with y'all. I know they feel bad now because he knew the answer. He feel bad. You should feel bad. Hey, sidebar. One time, many years ago, Bishop don't even remember this, but he's teaching a class, and I was a young man, but not that young in the truth. And he said, back then you had to stand up to answer. And he asked a question. He said, who was Pharaoh in that time? And I know the answer. And I drew a blank. And he looked at me. He said, I don't remember. He said, what? I said, hell no. He said, answer it. And for the life of me, I couldn't remember. He said, we'll just stand here and just wait until you answer it. And we stood and we stood and we stood, and I was so embarrassed. And I couldn't remember it. And here's the thing, my kids used to always watch the little cartoon movies, so I don't know how to remember it. And after I waited, it felt like 12 hours of standing there. He made a young man answer it. Oh, gosh. He said, sit down. Oof. Oh, he embarrassed me. I'll never forget that Pharaoh name. 20 years later, I know that Pharaoh name. But yeah, I know the point. Sometimes you draw a blank. That's my way of bailing them out. Happened to you too? Yeah, Bishop. Ah, man.
In Africa.
He gave me the work.
Over the 10 Commandments. That's when I came here, and remember I was getting on y'all for like a year straight with the commandments?
Yeah. So anyway, why did I say that for? Okay, he's an armor bearer. So generally, when you're in war and you're killing, swing, the armor bearer carries your other swords just in case you drop one or whatever, and then every person you chop, you don't finish off, you keep moving. So your armor bearer come behind you and he finished them off. So David had more kills just for the fact that I'm behind jugging these dudes for you. You understand? But here's the point. Saul got angry because his sisters was praising David. Well, Saul, you the king. You can have what you want. You old and age. This is a young dude. Let him live. He's like, yeah, they're not praising me. It's not about me. Here come the jealousy. Man, you killed 1,000 people. That's not enough. He act like they said David killed 10,000 and Saul ain't. No, they said you killed 1,000, Saul, but David killed more. Make the young man live. And he looked good, whatever woman wants, whatever. You still the king. I'll get back, play a song for me, David. Hit the harp. We rejoice together. Now, Negroes, what's this? But let's jump up in the chapter real quick. I'm going to try to put I don't know if the right word, the methodology behind Saul's thinking. Jump into verse 1.
1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
Right. So in the time, it says, and it came to pass when he made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David. And Jonathan loved David as his own soul. So now try to imagine Saul seeing Jonathan and David. Yo, my son, that's his partner, man. They're close. They're really close. What helped bring upon that of them being knitted? Jump back, chapter 17, verse 50.
So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in the hand of David.
Verse 54.
Verse 54. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent.
So now David came back with Goliath's head, set in the city. Imagine everybody seeing it, all the women seeing it. Damn, who did that? He comes back now. He builds a relationship with his son. He's like, oh, they're close. Okay, this man's with me. You know, he's one of my mighty men. So David got some fame now. You just brought back Goliath's head. My son and you was cool. Now we come back from fighting the Philistines, and now everybody's praising him. Slowly now, here comes Satan creeping in. Now you got a problem. Oh, he's more important than me. People like him more than me. My son is close with him now. He's in for, man, dude. God slowly take his spirit from this man. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what's crazy about that, brothers? They both had the same enemy. They both had the same enemy. Both of them were fighting against the Philistines, but Saul couldn't see it. He was simple as hell. He could not see it.
That's it. Today, we all fight against our enemies, and then we're going to be in here jealous against each other, trying to destroy. Man, don't we have a bigger enemy to fight? We fight each other. We jealous of each other. We don't. Let's go. Let's jump. Okay. When you get a chance, you got to read it all in its entirety. I'm trying to chop it up because I can't get through all of it, but there's a thread in it. What verse was that? Jump on down to verse 8.
1 Samuel chapter 18.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom?
Damn, read on.
And Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
So now, from that day forward, Saul eyed David. Now remember we talked about jealousy, envy. It's based on what? It comes from where? Okay, but what had been playing in that person prior to that? Sin. There's something that was in him that was sinning for him to not have a discerning spirit. Y'all following? That was with Cain. He was sinning. And then all that other stuff came about. Okay, watch this real quick. Let's jump back a chapter. Go back to chapter 15. Uh, 15 and 1.
1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way, when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
So it's clear. He told him kill everything. Read on.
And Saul gathered the people together, and numbered them in Teliam, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek, and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly.
They kept the king and what was good and destroyed everything else. What did God tell him to do? He destroyed everything, right? Go to verse 23.
Verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king.
He said, I made you king and you didn't listen. You're stubborn and rebellious. It's like a spirit of witchcraft. What does witchcraft do? Change the minds of people. Witchcraft is about controlling a person's mind so they can do your bidding. Then we read that in Genesis, and thy desire shall be unto him, and he shall rule over you. That was his problem right here. Satan entered into him, and he listened, and he was stubborn against God who anointed him king. So God said, I'm taking your throne from you. All right? Okay, so the reason I'm going back, because now I'm trying to build the thought process of why he was behaving the way he behaved, and jealousy jumped on him. He sinned against God. His spirit wasn't right, and now he directs his anger towards a godly man. Right? So jump to chapter 16. Man, I wish I had time to go through all this. 16:14.
1 Samuel 16:14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him.
And an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. Jump on down verse 23.
Verse 23. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him.
So David was amongst them at this time, and at times he would play the harp to subdue that evil spirit. But that evil spirit was deep in him. And guess what happens? Jump to chapter 18, where we read verse 9.
1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 9. And Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
So now his anger, his evil spirit now directed to David. David was fighting a war for him he was a king. I was fighting his war over his enemies, over enemies, but for him. The men I killed being his armor bearer and protecting him. But with all that, his energy, he betrayed David and turned against him. Now read on.
Verse 10. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand as at other times, and there was a javelin in Saul's hand.
So David played the harp like other times to quiet that spirit, but saw him how he wasn't playing his harp like he normally does. But read on.
Verse 11. And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David, even to the wall with it.
So now, guess what? That harp ain't subduing that spirit now. That spirit is growing. The music ain't slowing it down now. That thing is percolating, bubbling in his spirit. He can't control it now. Now his eye was, it said, he eyed David from that day forward. His eye was on him. He had hatred, but now it's manifesting in his behavior. It's coming out now. He can't help it. So for a long time, he lay dormant amongst David. He lay dormant, but in his spirit, he wasn't right. So finally, nothing could stop him now. Now he want to kill him. Read on.
And David avoided out of his presence twice. Verse 12. And Saul was afraid of David, because the Lord was with him, and was departed from Saul.
So now it says, now Saul was afraid of David because he realized God is with this man. God is with him. So he's afraid now. Read on, watch what it says.
Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him his captain over 1,000, and he went out and came in before the people.
So now, because he hated David so much, he said, you know what? I'm with David from amongst me. David wasn't in his inner court no more because he played a harp. He was one of his personal bodyguards. So he sat around Saul in his personal space. So I said, no, we're going to give him another office. I'm going to send him out, and he's going to be out there as one of my captains. But it says he went in and out amongst the people. Hey, let me explain something to you all so you can get this, understand this. The Most High is the master chess player. When you think you're doing something, God is making you do it because he has a bigger plan. You just don't see it, or we just don't see it. Don't play with God. Don't play. You be thinking you're making some master move. I'm going to talk to this brother, and we're going to do this, and we're going to go take over the school and move here. That ain't going to work like that, dude. That's not how it works. This stuff is spiritual, buddy. This is spiritual, dummy. But anyway, Saul said, put him a captain, send him in and out amongst the people. Look what happens.
And David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him.
You know what? David didn't try to get him back. David wasn't plotting against him. He dealt wisely. Saul sent me to do a job. I do what I'm supposed to do. That's it. I'm captain over the people. He knew how to deal. Read on.
Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, because he went out and came in before them.
See, you should never sent him out there. Because you sent him out there, now he built a relationship with the people regularly. He was in and out amongst the people, and they loved him because the Spirit of... All you was doing was setting him up to become king. With your jealous spirit, you're kicking against the bricks. You're not going to stop Most High's mission. Read on.
Verse 17. And Saul said to David, Behold, my elder daughter, Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be thou valiant for me, and fight for the Lord's battles. For Saul said, Let not mine hand be upon him, but let the hand of the Philistines be upon him.
Damn, you want this man dead? You know, okay, I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to send him out there in the battle. I'm going to send him out there in battle and say, let the Philistines kill him. You're going to let the enemy, the one that's trying to destroy your nation, that's how much hatred you have for this man? That you're going to send him out there in the middle of the battle to get put to death? Read on.
And David said unto Saul, Who am I? And what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son in the Lord to the king? But it came to pass, let me read that again. And David said unto Saul, Who am I? And what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law to the king? But it came to pass at the time when Merab, Saul's daughter, should have been given to David, that she was given unto Azariah, the Hemlothite, to wife.
He broke his covenant with David and gave his daughter to another man. Read on.
And Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. And they told Saul, and the thing pleased him. And Saul said, I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, Thou shalt this day be my son-in-law in the one of the twain.
He said, yes, I got my other daughter, but I know how my daughter is, Milk. I'm going to give her that one because she's going to be a snare to him. She's going to be a problem. You know, I got the right woman for you. Here you go. You could take, that's some hatred. You know your daughter's a full-blown demon. You're like, yep, you hate that man. In other words, she's going to make his life so miserable that his head is not going to be in the fight when he got to deal with them because he got to fight at home to deal with this heifer right there. Okay, when you get a chance, read it, because class is, I can't get through this class, but when you get a chance, read the rest of it. It's incredible. Jeremiah 9 and 4.
Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 4. Take ye heed every one of his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders.
It says, take ye heed of every one of his neighbor, trust not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slander. Supplant. Look up the word supplant. I want you to see what it means. Supplant.
supplant, supersede, and replace.
To supersede and replace. To try to usurp. It doesn't say there, I don't think so. To replace, to displace. It said every brother will try to displace you, to undermine you. Oh, usurp is there. To usurp, to topple. It'll be the ones closest to you that will try to topple you, try to destroy you. Now, either you're going to listen to the Bible, listen to what God is saying, or you go ahead and do it your way and see how it works out for you. Memo, it doesn't work. It said a brother will try to supplant you. Watch this. Go to the book of Maccabees. 2 Maccabees 4. Okay, I'm going to try to run through this as fast because we're limited on time. So I'm going to get through all of this, but 4 verse. Okay, let's start 2 Maccabees 3. Okay, I want you to read 3 verses 1 through 13, quick.
2 Maccabees 3 and verse 1. Now when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well, because of the ungodliness of Onias the high priest, and his hatred of wickedness.
No, because of the godliness.
Because of the godliness of Onias the high priest, and his hatred of wickedness. It came to pass that even the kings themselves did honor the place, and magnify the temple with their best gifts, insomuch that Seleucus, king of Asia, of his own revenues, bear all the costs belonging to the service of the sacrifices. But one Simon of the tribe of Benjamin, who was made governor of the temple, fell out with the high priest about disorder in the city. And when he could not overcome Onias, he gat him to Apollonius, the son of Thracius, who then was governor of Celesyria and Phoenice, and told him that the treasury in Jerusalem was full of infinite sums of money, so that the multitude of their riches, which did not pertain to the account of the sacrifices, was innumerable, and that it was possible to bring all into the king's hand.
You betrayer, you slimy dude. Because he could not overcome Onias, who had a good name on a disordered city, he went to the enemy. Damn, it's like we live these scriptures. He went to the enemy and snitched and told him about all the funds that the king put into the treasury. Yep. Just because he was mad because he couldn't have his way. That's an effeminate dude. You switch and it's affecting the whole nation. It wasn't like you went at Onias one-on-one, which still would have been wrong. You're doing something that's detriment. Because I can't have it, I will burn the whole thing down. Didn't you see that happening here? Yep. Dudes is mad at me and will rip this whole thing apart. Don't give a crap about nobody else, their children, their family. They don't care because they can't have their way. Let's see what the end result was. Read on.
Verse 7. Now when Apollonius came to the king and had showed him of the money whereof he was told, the king chose out Heliodorus, his treasurer, and sent him with a commandment to bring him the foresaid money. So forthwith Heliodorus took his journey, under a color of visiting the cities of Celesyria and Phoenice, but indeed to fulfill the king's purpose. And when he was come to Jerusalem and had been courteously received of the high priest of the city, he told him what intelligence was given of the money, and declared wherefore he came, and asked if these things were so indeed. Then the high priest told him that there was such money laid up for the relief of widows and fatherless children, and that some of it belonged to Hyrcanus, son of Tobias, a man of great dignity, and not as that wicked Simon had misinformed. The sum whereof in all was 400 talents of silver and 200 of gold, and that it was altogether impossible that such wrong should be done unto them that had committed it to the holiness of the place, and to the majesty and inviolable sanctity of the temple, honored over all the world. But Heliodorus, because of the king's commandment given him, said that in any wise it must be brought into the king's treasury.
Jump to verse 23.
Verse 23, nevertheless, Heliodorus executed that which was decreed, Now as he was there present himself with his guard about the treasury, the Lord of spirits and the prince of all power caused a great apparition, so that all that presumed to come in with him were astonished at the power of God, and fainted, and were sore afraid. For there appeared unto them an horse with a terrible rider upon him, and adorned with a very fair covering. And he ran fiercely, and smote at Heliodorus with his forefeet. And it seemed that he that sat upon the horse had complete harness of gold. Moreover, 2 other young men appeared before him, not able in strength, excellent in beauty, and comely in apparel, who stood by him on either side, and scourged him continually, and gave him many sore stripes.
So the angels whipped him because he tried to take the funds. Read on.
And Heliodorus fell suddenly unto the ground, and was compassed with great darkness. But they that were with him took him up, and put him into a litter.
They picked him up and put him to a carriage. Jump on down to verse 31.
Verse 31. Then straightway certain of Heliodorus' friends prayed Onias that he would call upon the Most High to grant him his life, who lay ready to give up the ghost. So the high priest, suspecting lest the king should misconceive that some treachery had been done to Heliodorus by the Jews, offered a sacrifice for the health of the man.
So Onias said, we're going to pray for him so they don't think that we had any treachery when what happened. Now watch this. Okay. So now, jump to chapter 4, verse 1.
2 Maccabees 4, verse 1. This Simon now, of whom we spake afore, having been a bearer of the money and of his country, slandered Onias.
So guess what? This man now, with his hatred, began to slander Onias. He's a betrayer of his own country. To destroy Onias, he's willing to destroy his own people. Read on.
As if he had terrified Heliodorus and been the worker of these evils.
He tried to make it seem like he was it. So try to think of Onias right now. Onias now is going through it. Like, this man is trying to slander, make me look bad, trying to put me down, make me in front of the people. This is what I got to deal with. He's at a spot right now where things are not really steady for him. But he's a righteous man. He's doing right. Look what happens. Jump on now to verse 7.
Verse 7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus, called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest.
So while he was going through that, his own brother Jason was underhandedly trying to supplant, to take away the high priesthood. Imagine going through all that Onias was going through, and your slimy snake brother. I'm telling you, we are a number. You would think, you go to your brother, this is what happened to me. I see you weakened. I'm going to take it. He doesn't want to wait on his ministry. He decided now to underhandedly try to take the high priesthood from his brother. Read on.
Promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver, and of another revenue 80 talents. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise, and for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen.
He said, I'm going to give you money, and I'm going to turn these people into Greeks. I'm going to make them become heathens. Listen, let me join with you. Give me the high priesthood, and I'll be the spokespeople. And guess what? I'm going to teach them to sin against God. Give me a voice. Allow me to speak and be heard, and I'll have you eating brisket at Passover. Lead you to sin. Watch this. Jump on down to verse 23.
Verse 23. 3 years afterward, Jason sent Menelaus, the aforesaid Simon's brother.
So, you can't make this stuff up. So, this Menelaus was Simon, the Benjamite brother, right? He went to send him there. So now remember, Simon was just pissed with Onias and tried to destroy his nation. Onias' brother Jason tried to snake him. Now, Jason is dealing with Simon's brother Menelaus now. Look what happens. Read on.
3 years afterward, Jason sent Menelaus, the aforesaid Simon's brother, to bear the money unto the king, and to put him mind of certain necessary matters. But he, being brought to the presence of the king, when he had magnified him for the glorious appearance of his power, got the priesthood to himself, offering more than Jason by 300 talents of silver. So he came with the king's mandate, bringing nothing worthy the high priesthood, but having the fury of a cruel tyrant and the rage of a savage beast.
He was a beast. So he snaked Jason. All this is envy and jealousy amongst them. Read on.
Then Jason, who had undermined his own brother, being undermined by another, was compelled to flee into the country of the Ammonites. So Menelaus got the principality, but as for the money that he had promised unto the king, he took no good order for it, albeit Sostratus, the ruler of the castle, required it.
So Jason had to go on a run. I'm cut for time, so I can't finish it. We have a chance. Read about these people. The treachery is unreal. These are betrayers. And at the end, they die. Real quick. Matthew 10:36. What time does New York start their class? 5? Just read his last scripture. Damn, I didn't get to finish. Yeah.
Matthew 10:36.
Yeah.
Matthew 10:36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
All right, there. Listen, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't get to finish it. Maybe next week I'll finish it. I hope y'all receive something from the class. Stay tuned. Deacon Thun is coming up for his class. Y'all stay strong in the Lord.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.